Welcome back to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holton. Today I have a guest named Amber Watkins. Now, Amber has a business called Reclaiming Dawn. So if you've been paying attention to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holton, you know that our business has evolved. We have a horse trail riding facility. I teach mounted archery. I used to do all sorts of martial arts, and now I'm doing that again. And my husband has a building company, but now we have 10 years after having our ranch open. We stopped doing weddings, and we've turned that wedding venue into a homesteading education center. Okay, so in that homesteading building, we're teaching canning, we're teaching sourdough bread, we're teaching foraging, we're teaching all of these self-sufficiency I guess skill sets that have been lost. Okay, so along the way, I've been trying to just get rid of all the lies in my life, and there are so many lies about the products that we use. So I've been using this Yucca app, and it's Yuka. It's Yucca, and then it was a free app. They have something that you can also pay for, but I didn't need the paid for version. But it tells you all the additives that are in your makeup, your shampoo, and your foods. Like peanut M&Ms and Skittles are not allowed back into my house because of all of the additives that are in those the dyes. And then on that Yucca app, it actually tells you what those bad things do. So one of the things I got rid of was my eyeshadow. It was black eyeshadow, and I was using it to have a smoky eye, and it turns out that eyeshadow is linked to liver cancer. And I was like, I'm not signing up for liver cancer. I'm signing up to have sexy eyes. So anyways, I've been posting on social media all of these findings. Well, then one of my good friends named Carla Notoriani, okay, she does our Country Tough Trail Versatility. It's a competition series. Well, she was like, I love these products, and she tagged a business called Reclaiming Dawn. So I got to, I actually read and look through every notification that is put on social media because it allows me to have like a good picture of what everybody's saying, and it's allowed me to network. So I contacted Reclaiming Dawn, I met Amber, and here we are doing a podcast interview. So Amber, you were originally from Missouri, but now you live in Texas?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, and where about in Texas do you live?
Well, I always tell everybody we're barely Texans. We are in Texarkana, so it's right on the Texas-Arkansas border.
Girl, I was 35 minutes from there in DeKalb. Okay, so
yes.
Texarkana, New Boston, DeKalb, and so I tell everybody I was Tex, almost Mex. DeKalb wasn't where I was born. I was born all the way past Beaumont, so I was South Texas. So you saying that you're right on the line. So I understand Texas is so big. I mean, my goodness, it could take you 6 or 8 hours to go across the state. So when people say they're from Texas, you got to find out where. Because
yes, for sure. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you're in Texarkana, boy. The state that I'm in, Missouri, which is where you used to be, but Kansas City. Most people don't know that Kansas City is one of those split up towns, just like Texarkana. They don't know there's Texarkana, Arkansas, Texarkana, Texas. But then Kansas City's the same way. There's Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas. So just a little tidbit of knowledge there. So tell us about, you said Reclaiming Dawn. This is going to be your third or fourth year in business?
This is my third year.
Third year, okay. And before that, you worked in what?
In transportation. I did what was called standard operating procedures. Basically, I made the steps, the processes you would do for each thing. So I kind of made the rules.
Oh, okay. All right. And then that's what your husband also does?
Yes, he works in transportation now. Yep.
Okay. Well, man, you know what? Like, I bet y'all know all about that song about big wheels keep on rolling, or what's
Yes.
that Alabama song about 18 wheels? No, that's not Alabama. 18 wheels and a dozen roses. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I know which song you're talking about, but yeah, I couldn't tell you who sung it. Yeah.
Well, and then there's that Alabama song about, uh, oh,
Yeah.
it's
The
another,
18-wheeler. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
My dad was a semi truck driver, and he did that for a while. He did that after he was a row crop farmer. So he always drove a Peterbilt. Always had to be a Peterbilt. He was loyal
Oh
to
yeah.
that. To
Yes,
that.
they do. They are very loyal to whatever truck they like. That's for sure.
And then he didn't ever drive a flat nose. I don't know what that's called, but he always drove one with the extended. And I have no idea what I'm talking about, but he didn't ever drive the flat ones. The flat ones just felt like you were gonna fall forward.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yes, they sure do.
So do you have
Yeah.
a CDL, or were you more behind the
No.
scenes?
Oh yes, I was only office personnel. You wouldn't want me behind the wheel of one of those. I'd be dangerous.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, they take forever to stop. Oh, it just cracks me up with how much if people pull in front of them, because I'm like, you're an idiot. That thing is so heavy, it's going to take forever to shut it
Oh
down.
yeah.
So,
I wish they would provide more education to people about 18-wheelers and, the things that I've learned from being in the industry, that I've taught my children that just the average person doesn't know. But yeah, there's a lot of safety concerns that people aren't aware of that they need to know for sure.
girl, other things that I wish that they trained people on was don't don't go to the green gas pump unless you have a vehicle that uses diesel. Like, get out of the
Yes.
way.
Yeah.
Don't do that. And then for ourselves, you know how many people we see roll down the freaking interstate with no straps on their hay? And I'm like, oh my gosh, you're just trying to kill somebody because they won't strap their
Yeah.
hay down. And I'm like, those things can come off, you know. And then everybody, I think city people or something must think that hay is going to be fluffy. And I'm like, a round bale of hay is equal to at least around 25 square bales of hay. And a square bale of hay can be, I don't know, 65 to 80 pounds per square bale. You know, so I'm like,
Yeah.
y'all need to be strapping your hay down. My husband, he used to be a safety director, and whenever he sees that, he has to point them all out. Kind of like whenever people would punch you in the arm and say like slug bug, whenever they would pass a
Uh-huh.
Volkswagen Bug. My husband's like, he ain't got no straps on his hay. He didn't strap his hay down. And I'm like, well, he did not, you know, but.
Yeah.
So you were in transportation, but then you got out of it for this business. So tell us all about Reclaiming Dawn.
Yes. Yeah. I love what you were saying about using that app and reading your labels because, what I tell people in my previous life, that's something that I never did. When I talk about it, I said, I would lather myself from head to toe with lotion, and I never once would read my label. I never once looked at those ingredients that are on there. And when you look at that, and it's not just on your skincare products, but it's in your food, it's even in your supplements. Recently, I was taking an iron supplement and didn't even think to look at it. And I looked at it, and it had red dye in it. It had titanium dioxide in it. And so it is so, so very important to read your labels on everything. But that's what kind of got me started.
Hey, you know what? I want to talk about a couple of the things that I have come across. You know what? Okay, so I'm trying to be healthy, but then like confessions, I went to a tanning bed, to get ready to go to Mexico. But I'm done with that life, okay? But I bought some lotion to extend my tan. And I was like, oh, yeah. Girl, I paid like $60 for this lotion, okay? Anyways, cute packaging, okay, yeah. And it did extend my tan. I could put it on, and I had to like wash it off of my hands because it would make like the wrinkles / whatever get darker, okay?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I Yucca apped that thing. I scanned that. Oh my gosh, it is connected to cancer, and it said cancer of your mammary glands and a decreased sperm count in men. And I'm like, what? What? I'm not signing up for that. I'm trying to look brown. I'm not trying to get cancer of my boobies and mess with, testicles of my husband. You know what I mean? We're not trying to do anything with that. What else was there? There was everything. There were so many things that absorb through your skin. Like there was other makeups and shampoos. Oh my gosh, girl. I have been a lifelong user of my Moroccan oil. Girl, that's not just, I thought it was just Moroccan oil. It's not just Moroccan oil. It had something else in there. And I was like, what the heck? I'm a big fan of my Cavender's seasoning. Girl, I'm from the South like that. It goes on chicken. It goes on fish. It goes on vegetables. It goes on everything. It's like the best thing. Oh, yeah, it freaking promotes like insulin. It makes it where it doesn't work as well. It also promotes like diabetes. Yeah. And I'm over here like, I'm just trying to make my broccoli taste better. I'm not trying to do all that. I'm not trying to get cancer. I'm not trying to get liver cancer. There were so many things that they said that they're an endocrine disruptor. Well, people don't understand your endocrine system is your thyroid, your pituitary gland. It's your ovaries, it's your testes, it's all these organs. I think I got that right.
Yeah.
I mean, like.
Yeah, you definitely did. Yeah. And so much of it, like, and that's what's affecting so many. And I mean, we're giving this and putting it on our children and our, young girls and young men. And, and then there's no wonder why we're having so many issues with fertility and all these other issues that we're seeing nowadays. And, what I was telling you about earlier was, yes, with so many things, but yeah, and then so the companies have become smart because consumers are starting to become aware of this. And so they're looking for cleaner alternatives. They're looking for natural things. They're looking for deodorants without aluminum. But what the companies have started to do is started to try to fool the consumers by putting words like natural on things. But if there's one thing I can tell the listeners is read those labels. The word fragrance, they can put anything they want to in that container under the word fragrance. There's no regulations to that whatsoever. And a fragrance is definitely an endocrine disruptor and can affect your hormones. And so you want to stay away from that word fragrance for sure, among all those other things. But yeah, scan those things.
Girl, you know what? I have a biology degree, okay? But it's been a minute. It's been a long minute. I graduated with that in like 2002. Okay, so whatever. But, girl, I was like thinking I was doing a good job. My Dove deodorant, it says aluminum and paraben free. I was like, heck yeah, I'm doing good. Whenever I scanned it, the one that has cucumber scent, which I don't know why I want my armpits to smell like cucumber. I guess it smells fresh or whatever. That one was bad, but the one that was pomegranate wasn't. And I'm like, what the heck? Why would you? They've already got me because I'm like, boom, I'm not, because you don't want to put aluminum in your armpit. I mean, aluminum is connected to all sorts of bad stuff, and I think it causes breast cancer or something. And then you're just wiping it right there in your armpits on, you got it super close to your boob, and then it's, it gets absorbed into the skin. So you don't want aluminum in anything. And so I thought I was doing good, but then it turns out that it's doing other stuff. It's an endocrine disruptor or something. And I was like, what? It just ticks me off that I thought that I was doing good, and it turns out I was doing bad. I feel like I have been lied to so much. My biggest thing right now that I'm personally trying to do is to get rid of folic acid. And folic acid is illegal in some countries. Like for us, folic acid, whenever you get wheat and it says that it's enriched with folic acid. that it messes with your brain. Okay, so like our country is trying to get pregnant women to take folic acid. They have told everybody, you need folic acid, you need folic acid. And now we've got an increase in depression. We have children that have all of these, every letter combination in the world. There's an increase in autism. And here we are shoving folic acid. And then whenever kids are born, and then all of these nasty cereals and Pop-Tarts and all that crap, it's all made from enriched and bleached flour. I'm sorry, but I don't want to eat anything that has to be bleached. I mean, that doesn't even sound smart. So I've been trying to get rid of folic acid. And I'm like, I am so tired of being lied to, because like I am this fat girl. I'm really fat. But I remember, you know, like when I was younger, I remember thinking, oh my gosh, my dad is so big. And I look at those pictures, and the version of big that I had back then was like 230 pounds. Well, now the whole world is fat. And I'm like, what the heck? I mean, we're not just sitting around not doing anything. I mean, we're busier now than we've ever been. But I think it's all of these. We're continuously poisoning ourselves with every lotion. And don't get me started with fluoride in your toothpaste. I mean, that stuff right there is horrible.
Everything.
Oh, that stuff's illegal. You know, in other countries. And then here, it's a lie that they can't stop saying, because they've even put that into the water supply. Okay? And now we're finding out that the higher the amount of fluoride, the lower the IQ of the population, because it messes with your mind. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, like our government can't be like, hey, my bad. Hey, I was wrong about that fluoride. One of my friends told me that there was actual warnings on old toothpaste about if you swallowed it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I love these companies that are coming up. So yours, what's your biggest soapbox of the chemicals that we are getting into?
Yeah, so mine is definitely like the fragrance. So that's a big thing for me, because even when, before I started my business, just trying to find cleaner options, whenever I was trying to make the switch, I found a lot of what they call greenwashing. And so when I started making my products, everything I make is 100% all natural. I make the only thing that they have in them is essential oils, as far as like any kind of scent. And I just slowly started growing my line. It started with 10 things, and I just kind of added from there. And there's so many things that I want to roll out, because, you don't realize everything that you use, everything you touch, affects your body. Everything you clean with, everything your feet touch, your body absorbs. And so all of that stuff is super, super important.
I just seen, I feel like I'm sorry, but I am a fan of TikTok. I mean, like, it's like a guilty pleasure, but I feel like it's where, like if I see something in the news or I hear about a shooting or something, I'll get on TikTok, because it's stuff that's posted by actual people instead of the news. Like I'm leery of news sources. Okay. So, I seen this girl that moved to Denmark, and she said she was trying to buy Tide, and she could not find Tide, dishwasher, laundry detergent. And then, so she tried to have it shipped from Germany, and she was like, it's illegal there for the stuff that we're getting. So she couldn't even get it in because of the chemicals that are in it. And I'm like, oh, laundry detergent is one of my next things to attack, because I'm like, boy, I've been a Tide girl for forever. But then I had to get rid of my seasonings. I got rid of my hair oil. I've been slowly but surely, I want to make this year the year that I get rid of all of the chemicals. I want to get rid of all the lies. I want to get rid of the lies. So,
and I will tell you what the hardest switch for my husband was the laundry. That was the hardest switch because we've been fooled into believing that clean is a smell, and that's what I tell people. I said, we've been conditioned to believe that clean is a smell, and clean is no smell. That's what clean is. And so with my laundry detergent, I have some that have a scent in them, but I always tell people, I said, that scent is just really there for when you're starting the laundry, but your laundry is really not going to smell like that at the end of it, unless you add some essential oils to like your wool dryer balls or something like that. That'll add a little bit of a scent. But that was honestly his hardest switch, is he's like, our laundry just doesn't smell like anything. And that was the hardest one, funny enough, for him. Like everything else, he was just like, okay, yeah, cool, I'm on board. But that was the tough one for him. So that's funny. But I'm glad that you're going to make the switch on that one.
Oh, yeah. I just, you know what? For me to be the size that I am and with as active as I am, I've had some food sensitivities tests done, but I think it's just everything. I just want, girl, we're trying to make our own bread. This year I want to get rid of all the lies from the house. And then I want to get rid of, I want to preserve enough food for a year. So this year I'm like we're about to put a high tunnel in, and I don't know, you know how yours is called Reclaiming Dawn, and it's about, you said it was about reclaiming yourself. Girl, that is...
Yes, and reclaiming nature, yes.
Well, and you know what? I'm an educated girl, and I have taught people some of these lies. Like I didn't know that they were lies because I was just using the information that was taught to me. Like I have a girl in my life that's been in my life for like over 10 years, and she's in college right now, and she was telling me that her college professor was like, hey, that high fructose or high fructose corn syrup, it's just calories. Sugar is sugar. And I was like, bull crap, girl, that is not just sugar. I was like,
gosh.
Well, and I told her, I was like, hey, don't accept everything that I say. Don't accept what that person says. I was like, you do your own research, because everybody's just doing the best job that they can. We're all just doing the best job that we can. But, it's horrible because, like, college, you feel like you pay for that education and they are going to have the answers. And that's just not the case. I really feel like the people that have the answers, girl, I have so many friends that are Mennonite, and they didn't jump on board with, like they're kind of like yesteryears. A lot of my Mennonite friends are, and they know how to do all sorts of planting. They know how, like, girl, the other day I went to the seed store and I was like, hey, do I need to get, like it was blueberries, and I've heard that blueberries are hard to grow. And I was just like, the other person told me I needed to get aluminum sulfate. And he's like, well, if you put aluminum on your stuff, if you want to get Alzheimer's, he's like, because you put anything aluminum on anything, he said it's going to absorb into you. He's like, you need to use sulfur, or you need to use ammonia sulfate if the blueberries they start turning yellow instead of the green. He's like, then they need like something they like an acidic soil. But I'm over here like, oh my gosh, I never did think about aluminum sulfate, aluminum, because I know aluminum is bad. Like, you're not even supposed to cook with aluminum. Aluminum is okay if the metal's cold, like in cans. But I got rid of all of my grilling things, and we have some smoking stuff. We have a smoker too, but my dad gave me this old aluminum thing to cook in, and I was like, you're not supposed to use heated aluminum, because it can come into your body just like cast iron, but we need iron, so
yeah, I mean, that's a good one.
Well, people just do not realize that you are the things in your environment, and what you cook with can go into your food, and
Yeah.
so
Yep.
tell me about your items. What's your best seller?
So my bestseller is the deodorant. It took me 2 years to develop. When I tell you, I tried everything over the counter and online. I tried everything. So baking soda based products was a no go for me. It caused irritation, and so I had to find something that was baking soda free. So mine, it has arrowroot instead of baking soda. Um, but it took me forever to develop, forever and ever. I didn't think I was going to be able to do it. But it has a probiotic in it. And I have two different kinds. I have a scented, which just has like a clean scent. It's a blend of different essential oils. And then I have an unscented one as well. The unscented is really popular among the guys. They like it, especially during hunting season, because it doesn't have any kind of smell at all. But I have great reviews on it. I have all kinds of men's dock workers, farmers, mechanics, you name it. But that's my number one. But I have all kinds of stuff. I have skincare, hair care, wellness things. I have a sun line that has like sunscreen and sunburn spray and tanning. I have some wellness stuff. I have a line of essential oils that I'm constantly adding to, and then I have a laundry line. So a little bit of everything, and I'm still adding to it all the time. The new stuff I roll out is really based on customer demand. I do shows. My next one will be in Wichita, Kansas. I'm going to be at a vintage market base up there. And I love those because I get to meet face to face with customers and talk to them and provide them with education too about reading your labels and things like that. So for me, it's much more than just selling a product. It's providing that education that we're talking about, read what, you're putting on your body or into your body and knowing what you're doing with those things. But just being able to have that interaction with them is really important to me. And I love that connection that I get.
Hey, so whenever I switched from the killer deodorant, the ones that was going to not be good for me, and I switched over to a non-aluminum, girl, oh Lord, I smelled like an Amish man on day 7. Like that, I was half onion, half Amish man, and half skunk. Like my armpits.
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, I was like, how am I so stinky? It took me several months to stop being so stank. I was not ladylike in my armpit area. I mean,
yes, and that's super normal. It's super normal, and I have a detox mask that helps expedite that process, because that's what keeps people from changing over a lot, is because they don't want to go through that. And the reason why that is because that traditional deodorant, what it does is it blocks those pores. And so all of that stuff is really what's backed up into your system. And so when you switch over, your body is literally letting go of that. So all that stuff, all that smell that you smell has been inside of your body, and it's finally coming out. And so as gross and as bad as it smells, your body is expelling those things. And so imagine that your body's been holding on to that. So expelling that is actually really, really good for you. And the detox mask helps pull that out super fast. And so I have like a little detox deodorant kit that I sell. But yeah, it's what you went through is extremely normal. But yeah, just imagine that your body has that.
Oh, a lot of people don't want to go through that. They're just like, that stuff does not work for me. And I'm like, oh, you just gonna have to suck it up. And the way that I got my armpits to stop stinking, because even if I washed, my armpit would still stink. And I shave. I don't have hairy armpits or nothing like that, because I know that stink can attach to hair. I end up just having to take salt. I took salt and I would scrub my armpits with salt, but not enough to be abrasive, just enough to get the funk out. That was the only thing that we still keep salt in our shower, just because if I get extra funky, that's the thing, like, sucks the stink out. I mean, like, what a wonderful podcast interview. Let's talk about my armpits some more. But
Hey, but it's real life, and other people struggle with it, and it's good education for them to know too. And I still there'll be times whenever I have it, if I get sick or but it's a sign that something's going on with your body. And so yeah, if I'm feeling ill or under the weather, like the first place you're going to notice it is under your arms, and so your body tries to tell you things,
oh, it's
So
trying
it's
to
good to listen to
communicate.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
my body was talking with an exclamation mark and some highlighter and a bold whenever I first switched deodorants. I was like, wow, that's on a whole nother level. Hey, talking about ingredients, so I've started making sourdough bread, and I've been trying to, I talked about the folic acid. I'm trying to eradicate that from my life. And so I bought 50-pound bag of flour. Well, that's pretty big, But I've been using Pollyanna, and Pollyanna is a type of flour. They have a red package and a green package. I use this green package, and on it, it says that it's not bleached, and it says that it's untreated. Well, you know what? I'm like, what does untreated mean? Because I'm looking for something that's not enriched. So I contacted the company, and they said that it's not brominated, there's no folic acid, and it's not malted. And I'm like, what does malted mean? Okay, so like now I'm contacting them back like, I thought that I didn't know that there was flour that we could get in the United States that didn't have folic acid on there. So like I because there's two languages on the package, and I'm like, hey, is this imported or am I wrong? I hope that I'm wrong. I would love to buy flour in the United States that's not brominated, that I'm not having to mill myself. I know that I can get actual wheat, but I have to mill it, I'm just trying to see what all my
Yeah.
options are, but I love that you're trying to educate people because it's exhausting to have to like, well, what does this mean and what does this mean, and let me learn. I'm constantly trying to learn because I'm just trying to have healthy, do everything right, and I feel like
Yeah.
I am 20 years behind. I feel like I'm like in kindergarten again whenever I'm trying to learn how to be healthy. So,
Yeah,
what's
and I
your
think we all are. And the best we can do is just share education with each other. You know what I mean? Just share what we know,
mm-hmm.
and that's the best thing that we can do is just share that knowledge.
Well, and then if somebody gets something wrong, just be like, hey, you got to read this right here. You got this right here mixed up. Because I'm like, oh,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm going to be the queen of mixing. Just like I used to tell people, I was a high school teacher, so I'd have kids that are, pregnant. And I was like, oh, have you talked to your doctor about folic acid? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm on a folic acid supplement. And I'm like, and now I'm like, get that stuff out of here. It's poison. So,
Yeah, I
what?
know.
I could tell a big difference between. So I'm using a toothpaste right now called Hello, and it doesn't have fluoride in it. And I went and spent the night at one of my friend's house, and I had to use I used her toothpaste because I didn't bring mine because I just forgot apparently. Anyways, it burned. After I got used to not using the fluoride, I was like, oh, my mouth is on fire. So, I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to whenever I'm not used to all the stuff that's bad for us anymore. Like, it's not my norm anymore. So,
Hmm.
well,
Yes, I hear you.
how do people, how do they find you?
So I have a website. It's called just reclaimingdawn.com. And yeah, you can shop on there. We have customer rewards and free shipping over $99. So yeah, you can just go on there and check us out. And then, follow us on social media. And you can find out we travel all over for shows. We'll be in Oklahoma City in June. And like I said, we'll be in Wichita next month. I go to a lot of shows in Texas all around. So, yeah, I'm out and about at shows quite a bit. I love to travel and do that. So, but yeah, you can always shop online too.
Okay, well, I found out about you from one person on one thread on Facebook that was like, hey, I like Reclaiming Dawn. You should check out her stuff. And that was my friend, Carla Notoriani, just wanting to give her some snaps. And isn't that a cool name of Notoriani? I mean, like,
it is very cool. Very cool.
I don't know.
Sounds like I want to eat her cooking.
Oh, yeah. It always reminds me of that song, like by the Notorious B.I.G. about Notorious, but like Notoriani. Anyways,
yes.
All right. Well, so they're going to look for you on Reclaiming Dawn, like DAWN, not DON, but reclaimingdawn.com. And then they can also find you on Facebook at Reclaiming Dawn.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning in to Country Tough with Brandy Von Holton.